Hi there, John here with another episode of Connecting Through Magic. The town I live in, there's a street where someone's been playing a practical joke on the city. It's a one-way street where you can only drive on it one way. I know, weird, but they've got this one-way street and there's a sign there that people were playing around with to make it seem like you could actually turn, or it was taking you in a different direction. I'll show you what I mean. We have here, I'm going to tap this so we can see that. Perfect. We got here the one-way arrow. We have an arrow pointing one way on one side, and then on the other side we've got the arrow that's pointing the same way. So it didn't matter which direction you were coming, even though it was a one-way. You only needed it on one side, but we had the arrow on both sides pointed up. Now, what someone would do is they would come in and they would take the arrow and they would move it so it was facing the other direction. Well, the city decided that they were going to start using magical signs, and that is because if you actually turned it the other way, it was still pointing the right direction, and again they were pointing the right direction. If they tried it again and they no, I want to go this way, and they turn it around, it's still pointing the right direction again and again. It didn't matter how many times they would turn it, it would again go the right direction. Again, did that wrong, there we are. So, and then turn it, and again, and again, and again, and again. Turn it, it's facing up. There we are. And they solved their problem with a magical street sign. Amazing. All right, I'm going to talk to you about how this is done. This is like a topographical puzzle. It's about how you turn it, how you move it, but it's easy and it's fun, and you can make this. I've done this trick from the stage where you can make what you need is a square piece of cardboard or paper, but I use cardboard, and the nice thing about using cardboard is that you can write on both sides and they can't really see through it. I can see through it because the light's shining right on me, but you don't have to see through it. So a piece of cardboard, it can be 12 by 12, it can be larger. You just want to make sure that you can hold it and you can turn it. I've actually used it on a saltine cracker before, a saltine cracker and a Sharpie marker, just to, you can use, if it's a square and you can write on it and you can turn it, you can use it. So what you need is on this side, you need an arrow pointing up, all right? Now the easiest way to figure out where you want to draw the arrow on the other side is to turn the arrow so it's facing a different direction. For me, I'm having it face the right. So you got here, you turn it and you face it right, and then so on the other side you're going to draw an arrow going up. So when the one side here is facing right, the other side is going to be facing up. All right, I try to draw the arrows as close as possible, but it doesn't. Use the same color marker. This arrow got smudged a little bit, but it's still, it is two sides of the sign. So you've got that, and now it's all how you turn it. So right now, when I've got this arrow up, my arrow is, when I've got this arrow up, my arrow now is facing, my back arrow is facing to the left, all right? So if I go like this, the arrow that's facing me is straight up, okay? So that's how you start off. And now it's how you turn it. The way I turn it is I grab the top side that the arrow is pointed. So if this is where the arrow is pointed, I grab this and I grab here. Now there's two ways you can turn it. One, If it's a bigger piece of paper, or cardboard, you're gonna grab both sides here and you're gonna turn it like this, which is to say this side here, you're gonna be turning it so it comes up this way. So instead of turning it like that, you're gonna turn it so it's here. It's like it pivots on, instead of pivoting here, it shifts a little bit and pivots here, which is another way that you can turn it. You can hold, if you hold here and you hold here, and you just push down, so it goes up, pivots again, goes up, pivots again. Or you can grab it like this and turn it this way. Still just seems like you're turning it over. And then you move it. So I go, and I make a big deal out of it. I'm like, you know, I mean, it's like it's almost attached to a sign. And I turn it and it faces that direction. And then instead of turning it on that axis again, you've got it facing this way, because if you do that like this, it's just going to be facing over there. So you've gone here, you've turned it, and then that's when you can just turn it around and it's still facing up, and then you go back to turning it the one-way arrow, and then show that it's turned up. All right, and the sound effects are optional. So that is the one-way street sign, the one-way arrow. I use this presentation for a lot of different things. You can use the presentation for, you know, there's times where we're following the straight and narrow. We think things are going well, and all of a sudden, I don't know, a pandemic comes up, and it moves us that way, and we're like, what's going on? But you know what? When people around us, when we notice how people care about one another and about how people love one another, all of a sudden what we notice is that the arrow is actually, it's going in the right direction. It's going in the right direction. Now there are times where we're like, like I get mad, and I go this way, and then, but the amazing thing is that it keeps going in the right direction. Now notice, if I forget, like right there, and I've got that faced up, so I've moved it, and I go like this. I need to remember to change my grip, because if I'm here and then I forget and I go like this, it's not faced the right direction. So when that's up, I switch here and then move into that direction. All right, there we are. If you have any questions about this, feel free to ask me, but it's pretty straightforward and it is a fun trick. All right, thanks for stopping by, and I will see you next time.